here in my garage, but my car is not here because it's outside and covered with snow. Need to know when it's gonna snow. Need to deal with wasting all this time. All right, now you shut your mouth. You listen here. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to make a site called itsgonnasnow.com and then make a Telegram bot that just texts me when it's going to snow. Welcome to the brain rot free part of the video. If you have attention span, I invite you to sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. If you don't have an attention span, get out of here! Whoa! I'm trapped in my computer! Now, as somebody who parks his car outside his house to save 2 minutes every time I want to leave my house, you know I'm not about to waste a ton of time. So I've built over 20 SaaS random softwares in my day, and what I do nowadays is I basically use this template to just build on top of it. It has all of the basic code that you need, and then I can just code it and add more stuff to it and then make it work as I want it to work. So I built this on top of this template. It's a magic cursor mustache that automates outreach on X and Reddit. You could just see, use all that kind of stuff. Made this site. This is a dividend stocks thing built on top of that. And X reply counter is also built on top of that. You can see the format here. Whoops. So what we're going to do is copy this and we're going to make it into itsgonnasnow.com. Okay, we got it copied, and now I'm going to write an AI prompt to just make the marketing look like how I want it to look like. Bam! Just submitted this to the AI, something basic that's going to get us something started. Didn't put too much thought into it, but it's easier to go from something to something better than it is to go to nothing from something. So right now we're going from nothing to something, and then we'll be making this something into something better. While this is working, I'm going to get started working on the Telegram section. Just open up a new chat and start that over here. We're just going to create a new folder, Telegram bot, and we're going to create a file in here called main.js, and we're going to tell this other chat right here what we're doing and what to create. Okay, so I created a file here with just some basic outline stuff right here, and just going to do this. Just tell it to do this. This is the promise. So I just told it to create a Telegram bot that users can give their location, and then it will text them a day before it snows with how many hours it's going to snow, like when it's going to start and stop, and how many inches is there going to be. So all that stuff is working. We got this up right here. So this is pretty cool. The prompt made us this. So yeah, something to start with here. Pretty good. Vibe coded screen. We're going to keep going. And I got all of this code for the Telegram bot, a starting point. Going to follow the instructions here, and I'll be back when I got a bot. Okay, so I followed the instructions. I talked to the bot father, created a bot. It kind of works. This came up, and now trying to find weather for certain addresses, and it's just not working. So what I'm going to do is talk to the AI, tell it what's up. I have some ideas of what might be happening. For some reason, it's not like parsing the information correctly, meaning it's not taking the information correctly. But through this, let's just take it one step at a time. We want to send an address, and we want to get back the weather. And I'm just going to tell AI the exact problems. So saying I'm sending an address and it keeps telling me invalid address. I'm telling it to add logs to the code so I can see what is happening, so I can diagnose what's even wrong further, so I can tell the AI what is wrong and then tell it to fix it. And if I really have to, get manual in the code, but I don't really care about the source code. I just want it to work. So I'm just going to focus on the functionality and making sure it's actually valuable. So everything was actually right. It just said invalid API key, but it's because it takes a few hours sometimes for the API to actually update and activate the key. But now it's working and I'm getting a 200, so making progress. Okay, so I kept messing with it, telling it places, and it kept messing up. Did some more experiments, told AI what was happening. So basically had it update everything just to tell the user to submit the proper format that makes sense for it. And now it is setting the location properly, getting a latitude and longitude here to then save that. And now I'm just going to test to see, does it actually get the weather? So I'm going to set it up like a mock date, like yesterday in my location, to see if I would have got a text message from the Telegram bot to warn me that it was going to snow so I don't have to clean off my car. Okay, now I'm gonna one-shot 4 feature requests because it's probably gonna work. I want a command called /forecast that gets the current forecast for the saved location. Command called test yesterday. This is for testing, like I was just saying. And I noticed some bugs when a user types /address with nothing there, nothing comes up. And when a user sends something just without a command, nothing shows up too. So I thought those are kind of bugs. Those need to be improved. Example here. Something should be said like, hey, this isn't a valid address. And then also, when I just enter in a message, should also just say, hey, here's how you actually do things, just to get the user back on track. While that's cooking, I think we need a nice, friendly snowman as the logo. So I'm going to tell Grok right here to create me a friendly looking snowman for a favicon icon. I'm going to look through one of these. I'm just going to pick one that seems the most friendly. This one looks pretty friendly. And yeah, these look pretty nice. I think I'm going to go for this one. Okay, so I just went into Photopea, dragged the old favicon there, and dragged this one on top. And I'm just going to use the magic eraser tool to remove that. And now I'm going to save this and make it a favicon. Drag that back to here. Hopefully it asks me to replace it. It doesn't. But delete that. Go here. Rename. Favicon. Go back to here. And I think it should update. Now we got a snowman there. We got a snowman up here. And it's snowing. It's a grand old time. Okay, and the AI is done. I'm just going to scroll through this and see what's happening. We're analyzing the snow forecast. Okay, makes sense here. Scrolling down, formatting the forecast. Okay, so that looks good. It makes sense. Send snow notification. This is the test. Okay, there's like a testing thing in here. That might be useful. I'm probably going to remove that actually, but useful for right now for testing. And forecast, test yesterday. Good. Help. Okay, adding those commands there. Looking good. Bot that on text handle address. So yeah, if it's empty, perfect. It will send a help message and forecast right here. So yeah, if you haven't sent a location, good, good. Test yesterday. Okay, it's temporary. We'll probably remove that. And I think that's about it. Then there's also, yeah, there's just no command. We also handle that. So it looks like, let's actually test this. Okay, so it wasn't working again. I printed it out and I'm just going to tell it, test yesterday is returning the date tomorrow, not today. Oh, I just worded that wrong. Not yesterday. Please fix. Alright, I can clearly see in the code that it's not listening to me, and it's just getting the weather forecast for the future, which makes sense, because in the majority of cases, you do want to get it from the future. I thought of another way to test this. Ideally, we're just doing this to test it. So, I found a location that has snow, and I'm going to see what happens, and see what Michigan's going to do if I set my location to there. So it's Monday, and very clearly tomorrow here, it is going to snow. So my goal is just to get it to trigger, because if we can get it to trigger when tomorrow has snow, that basically means that it's fine, because it'll just do the same thing for every location. It'll just check the location that the user has set. And yeah, if we can figure out how to just make it send a message when tomorrow has snow, then we'll be able to make some progress to get to the next step. because right now it's just not working when I'm testing this stuff. So another approach, I'm going to just modify the testing approach a little bit and do that. You can also notice here, it's a bit weird, so got to make sure users double check, because when they say Michigan, USA, they probably don't mean Michigan, Dubai, AE. So yeah, but this does work it when you put the specific address. Just got to make sure users actually put the proper address. So maybe we'll add another message saying double check the address, make sure it is good. Starting one step back, telling it to remove test yesterday command, and then I'm going to tell it to add a test today command that checks for today. Honestly, I think I'm going to keep this here and make it /check. And this will just be able to let people type /check and it'll check for today. Did that not work? Oh, whoops. /check sometimes does that. We gotta add a space for the /check, adding this to queue, removing the test yesterday, and gonna add this /check command, and then gonna look through the logs if it doesn't work, basically to see what am I sending the server, what is the server sending to me, and just take it one step at a time. So the /check did check the snow today for Michigan, and today it's not going to start. Remember, tomorrow it's going to snow. And I just realized we actually have all of this data here for the week when we fetch the data. So I'm thinking, like, I would want to know the whole week. Like, if it's going to snow tomorrow, let me know it's going to snow tomorrow, and then the rest of the days for the week. So I'm going to just add more data here because we have the data. Might as well display it to them and only send the message if there is snow projected for the week, basically, and the next day happens to be a snow day as well. So let's just write that prompt. So this is the prompt that I entered. Just started it up again. Typed /check, and let's see if it is working. And there we go. Today, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, making progress. A bit wrong, but making progress. And it's really as simple as just copying all that and pasting it into here, and it'll just know what is wrong probably. And if it doesn't, then I'll do a deeper dive into the code and do manual coding if I really have to, or just keep asking it questions until it figures it out. Okay, and I could just tell it's still a little bit confused, so I'm going to also include the forecast object that's actually getting, so it can know properly how to actually, code this. That's all the information I need. You see, the thing with coding with AI is you just got to give it the information you need. Like, the app will only ever be as good as the input and the exact direction that you want to go in. So you just got to identify, like, what information does it need to get it the ideal outcome. Bam! We got the one shot here, or like 5 shot here, and it is bam! We just did exactly that, and now you can see we got it today. Expected snow this many inches tomorrow, that many inches Wednesday. You get the gist. It is working. I think at least the /check is. So what I'm going to do next is just run the cron job, which is basically this thing that runs once every 24 hours. Like, manually, I'm just going to set it off to kick it off and just see what happens. Ideally, they should be sending this message to the user, because I'm just going to emulate, the cron job that runs every day, and it should be working in a little bit. And just double checking the data here. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is supposed to snow. And Friday, no, it's not supposed to snow. So yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Do I actually need to do any more work? This was commented out right here. So I'm going to restart the Telegram bot. It's going to run check forecast and notify, and ideally it should send a notification to me. And it didn't. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go into this. Is this even being used? Where is this? What the heck? Yeah, this isn't even a thing. I don't know what is going on here. So I'm going to tell it to create this function to check the snow forecast. And we are running it at startup to emulate the cron job. Please notify and send the message to the user if snow today or tomorrow is scheduled. And we want to also respond with the snow schedule for the whole week. Copy message from the slash check. And that always happens. I gotta freaking remember to do a space after prompts with a slash in it, especially for Telegram bots. All right, and it did send me a message. The bottom part is correct, but then the top part here is just wrong. So it's saying it's going to snow today, 0 inches, going to start tomorrow, 0 inches. The start time is correct, but the total expected snow is wrong according to that here. So I'm going to just tell AI what's going on. Exactly what I just told you, basically, that this is the problem and it needs to be fixed. Tell me what was wrong and then fix it. Bam, pasted that and then just added this below for context, entering. It's that simple. Okay, it really might be that simple. So it looks like it's working. It's more accurate right now. I am a bit concerned. Such like a low snow amount. I don't know if people will actually want to know when it's that low, but for now, it's fine. So what I'm going to do now is let's set the address to somewhere where it is not going to snow. So we'll do that. And now we'll call slash check. So let's see, expected snow January 22nd. So yeah, that's actually pretty solid. It seems to be working. I'm going to just turn off the bot on, off again, off and on again to go see if we're going to be notifying me now that the address is set to this location, which does not have snow scheduled. And it seems like that's working. I guess I just need to check to make sure this cron job is going to actually work. But yeah, I think it's going to work. I think we got the MVP down of this project. I really didn't write like any code for this. I used like knowledge that I have about coding to make this a lot easier. But it goes to show like you really nowadays you don't need necessarily like to be really good at coding because like if you didn't follow around like along with this perfectly, you could easily just wrestle with AI and just ask it questions and eventually through brute force figure out how to make it work. And yeah, so now the plan, we're actually going to get a domain and just get this hosted, get this set up 24/7. And yeah, I'll show you what I'm going to do for that. So I'm going to get a domain. Now that it's built, it's gonna snow.com. So there's two parts to this. We need to host a website, and then we need to host the Telegram bot. I'm going to create a new GitHub repository, just git init. Going to add that to GitHub with the GitHub desktop app right here. So add existing repository. Supabase and the API for the weather both have API keys that, I want to keep secret. So, okay. Gonna do that. I see I don't have a git ignore file here, so there's just a bunch of like malarkey just flooding it up. So I'm just gonna add a new file dot git ignore, and then what we want to do is node modules. Just add that to there. I thought I would have this copied, but I guess I don't. Node modules dot env should be good. You see, it's gonna go to 21,538 to a lot less, and that's not in the right. This does need to be in the root directory, not in the Telegram bot folder. And now, yeah, we can see this is actually the code here that is relevant. The rest of it is just packages from framework that I use. That's called SvelteKit. I like that
way more than React and everything else just because it's a lot less code, super simple. And by default, it's just 100% SEO friendly like React. I don't like React because it just loads all of the data like once you get to page, whereas SvelteKit loads the data before you get to the page, making it faster and just a lot more seamless by default with all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just scrolling through that. Okay, we still don't want to add loft.env.local. So save that. Now it looks good. And we can do init commit 249 files to main. And then we're going to publish this to It's Gonna Snow. And then all we got to do here is go back into Netlify. We're going to add a project, import an existing project. We're going to deploy with GitHub here. And it's going to be searching It's Gonna Snow. Hopefully it shows up. Might have not uploaded it in time. There we go, it did. So do that. Project name, It's Gonna Snow. Branch to deploy. All this stuff should work. And then we need to add the environment values here. I'm going to do that real quickly. Okay, and that's deploying. And something that like happens a lot actually is it just fails. I'm going to run npm run build here just in case if it fails here, I'll know the reason why it failed. We're going to see if that actually, builds okay. Sometimes there's just some small issue that prevents it from building. So npm run build is going to run it, build it locally, and then tell me if there's any issues. It's gonna snow.com, verify domain. That should be good. And then we'll go back to projects. We'll go to itsgonnasnow.com and see if it is published. And it is. It is live. First try out of 100 tries in previous projects that it failed. But this time it's different. One shot. And yeah, now this website is live. You can click get started now and open Telegram. There you go. Should be able to set it your location and then go from there. So the website is hosted now. This is just like an SEO play really because I'm just hoping to rank on Google when people search for something similar to this, and then just something to redirect to from like Reddit if I repost it or something. And just like an easy place for people to go to if they need something or something. I don't know. I think a website's good to have in the future if there's a lot of users. Might add some monetization strategies, but my plan right now is to just kind of hold off, not really do anything. To get like 1,000 users on it, 1,000 people using this. Can always add premium features to this. So the website is good. You can check that out. Now I'm going to actually host the Telegram bot. So this is hosting the website. We actually need to host the Telegram bot. All right, it's a new day. And then last night I just basically finished the landing page. Gonna just go with this for now. Made everything we need here. Added the change log with just version 1. A blog with some basic information so Google and all these sites just know a bit more about what is It's Gonna Snow like really about, so I can rank more on Google. And yeah, I'm going to push this. This is like the local host to the main It's Gonna Snow website, and then I'm just gonna run the Telegram bot 24/7, and then we should be good. So we got the Telegram bot hosted on this platform Heroku. Got this site up, and this is everything we did just within the last 24 hours. So took me about maybe like 6 hours of work just doing this. So we got the website here just for marketing purposes, so people can find it on Google and get in contact like with me if they have like a request or something or like a bug fix. Basic blog, just information about the site. And when we click this start on Telegram, we got the It's Gonna Snow bot, added the bio profile pic here. I did change the profile pic from something else. I told AI to make me a snowman with a red megaphone because I felt like that just felt like the branding and logo a bit more. So open right now, I have the entire tech stack open. I'm going to go through every single thing that we're using here as an overview. So we're hosting the Telegram bot on Heroku, and it's just like script that runs. It's just always on, and then it's doing all the bot stuff. And then on the Telegram bot, we're using the weather API to actually fetch the weather data, and then to store users in the database, like to track where their address is. We are using Superbase with a Postgres database, and we're just storing this data here. So the Telegram user ID gets mapped to a latitude, longitude, and address. So we know what address to look up every 24 hours to then notify the user if it's going to snow. And to host the website, we're using Netlify, super simple and straightforward to set up. And then for analytics, just using DataFast. And what this does is just tell us how many visitors are on the site every day. And yeah, and then this is the site that's hosted. And this is running SvelteKit, which is just a framework that I like. Pretty simple. And yeah, that's the entire tech stack. Now for the demo, you're a user, you go to this website and you're like, oh man, I can finally get alerts when it's going to snow so I don't leave my car outside when I can park it somewhere else, like undercover. I'm like, okay. Yeah, let's get started now. And we're going to start the bot, open Telegram, whatever. And yeah, by default, this message will be sent when you open it up. So just as simple as you can click the share location button. You can't do this on desktop. I just tried it on my phone. It does work. Or you can just type /address. Let's just copy this right here. Set that to there. So now if it ever snows in Los Angeles, California, it would notify me. There's only one location that can be saved at this time. But yeah, obviously it's not going to snow here, but you can still check these other commands that you can do at /forecast. So you can see the forecast for today with a simple command, and you can do /check. So you can just run it to see if there's going to be snow anytime soon. And yeah, it just will automatically message you a day before if it is going to snow. So I'm going to scroll back up, and I know, let me just find, I forgot the location name that it was snowing for. It was somewhere in Michigan. But this place is going to snow. So you can do /check here, and you'll see that, yeah, there's going to be some snow. So yeah, I'm actually going to leave it on Michigan and just test it tomorrow. And then if I don't get a message ever, like from Michigan, because like I can clearly see that it is going to snow, I'll look back into this and fix it. But I think it's good. We got an MVP out, and I'm going to move on and go back to my main project of what I'm working on. And some finishing notes. This took me about a day to make. I've been doing software for a while, but it just goes to show, like, if you brute force yourself into just building something for a few days, a few weeks, like, you can do this. Like, you saw what I did. I just kept talking to the AI and then made it do things that I wanted to do. Just make it fulfill the vision that I had in my head. So something that people don't talk about and don't show in these videos is actually marketing. So we built this really, really cool tool, but nobody is going to know about it unless we do some stuff. So what I am doing is I post it on some listing directories already. I'm going to do a product hunt as well and just upload this video as the video here in the description. I post it to Reddit a bit. This is great for backlinks like Google. I'm going to post on certain subreddits, maybe certain cities for a bit. And then this video right here, this YouTube video, is also marketing for the tool. And then finally, I'm really going to double down. And once I get this momentum, like this efforts today should get a few hundred users if it's a really good tool, and people actually want it as much as I wanted this. So from there, I'm going to double down on referrals and just try to get like a word of mouth ball rolling. But this is how I'm getting the initial momentum on here. I'm also going to be posting on X and sharing that journey as well. You can follow me down there. But yeah, that's how you launch a startup in 24 hours.